will return with the veteran Greg Pruitt and young Ted Watts to return. Rich Carlos tees it up. Young man from Cincinnati, we'll be talking about him. He's, along with Mark Mosley, has had a perfect 1982 season. 10 for 10 field goal attempts, this rookie free agent. Make that Cleo Montgomery drifting back with Greg Pruitt at the goal line for the Raiders on a December 26th. That's right out of a textbook for the Chamber of Commerce. We're underway to Greg Pruitt at the 3. And the veteran can make it only to the 21-yard line. Onto the field comes Jim Plunkett and the Los Angeles Raider offense. Marcus Allen, certainly going to be a top candidate, if not the only one, for Rookie of the Year offensively in the NFL. Kenny King from Oklahoma. Cliff Branch, great speedy receiver. Todd Christensen has been an outstanding tight end. Malcolm Barnwell, the other wide receiver. And there's the offensive line. Bruce Davis, Kurt Marsh, Dave Dolby, Mickey Marvin, and Henry Lawrence. First down from the 21-yard line for the Los Angeles Raiders, with Branch to the left and Barnwell to the right. Plunkett dumps it out in the flat. Marcus Allen out to about the 29-yard line. Allen, who has just been outstanding running the ball and receiving it. He has 30 catches. That's the #1 running back in the American Football Conference in receiving the ball. Defensive line, Chavis, Carter, and Rulon Jones. Jim Ryan, Larry Evans, Randy Gradishar, again the leading tackler for the Broncos, and Tom Jackson, the backers. Louis Wright, who made the tackle in the last play, considered all Pro Bowl talent each year. Steve Wilson, former Cowboy, at the other corner with Dennis Smith, and Aaron Kyle at safety. Kyle moving to safety from a cornerback slot. Second down and 2. Kenny King. Nothing there. Good defensive play by Randy Gradishar, number 53, and Tom Jackson, 57, the Bronco backers. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Well, Randy Gradishar, the man in the middle, is someone we're going to see all day long. Randy is averaging about 20 tackles a game, leading the team so far this year with 130. And he uses that 3-4 defense really well, where he's able to take those really good angles to the football.
Gain of almost a yard on the play for King, so call it 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. Marcus Allen. And he doesn't make it, as the Broncos defense is stiff on that first series. Rulon Jones, number 75, and Gradishar, 53, collaborated on the tackle. And Ray Guy and the punting team comes on for the Raiders.
Well, there's Randy Gradishar in the middle, and I mentioned before, when you play that 3-4 defense, it's the responsibility of the down lineman to take on the blocks and allow the linebackers to make the tackles because they have the best angles. And number 75, Rulon Unruly Jones, as they call him. What a great year he had in the beginning of the first year last season. Tailed off a little bit, but the Raiders expect him to really come alive today because he gets so fired up when he's playing against them.
Against 10 men on the line, Guy hits a dying spiral. Upchurch, fair catch at the 37-yard line. So on a short kick by Guy, for him short of 38 yards. The Broncos have fairly good field position on their first possession at the 37-yard line. Steve DeBerg, who last week on his first pass attempt completed it, 18 in a row, NFL record. Sammy Winder gets the start. He's a rookie out of southern Mississippi. Rick Paris from Utah State, the other running back. Upchurch and Watson are the wide receivers. Jim Wright starts for Riley Odoms at tight end. Claudia Miner, Tom Glassick, Bill Bryan, Dave Studdard, and Ken Lanier, the blockers in front of DeBerg. Harris breaks a tackle to get back to the line of scrimmage and takes a late hit, and a penalty flag down as Matt Millen drops on Paris after he was down. And the most penalized team in the NFL by far, the Los Angeles Raiders, on the very first chance for the defense, they pick up a 15.
Well, the Raiders, what they want to do is try to put pressure on DeBerg. That time, Steve had plenty of time to throw the football. They're going to do some games in that defensive line. Occasionally, they'll bring a linebacker. Matt, number 55, was a little late getting there.
Number 55 on the defense. First down.
But he's playing with a sore toe, so we can forgive him a little bit if he's a little late.
L.A. Raiders, 68 penalties. Second is Atlanta, 13 behind the Raiders. The Raiders are almost 200 yards and penalties ahead of the number 2 team. Millen was guilty of piling on. First down from the 49 of the Raiders. DeBerg hits his tight end, Ron Egloff, and he's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Ted Watts made the play for the Raiders. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, the Raiders that time choosing to bring one of their inside linebackers. There's a look at defense. Number 75, Howard Long. In the middle, Reggie Kinlaw, Lyle Alzado on the right side. Defensive linebackers, Ted Hendricks, Matt Millen, and Bob Nelson on the inside. And what a great one, Rod Martin on the outside. Defensive back, Hayes, Watts, Mike Davis, and Burgess Owens.
2nd and 6. It's Paris. And he's to the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as Paris from Utah State. He is was the leading rusher for the Broncos last year with 749 yards. And his second this year to Gerald Wilhite, the rookie.
Look at your boy Riley. Paris is the type of player, is a little small for a fullback. He's only about 5'11", weighs about 200 pounds, but he gets those tough yards when they need them.
The Broncos really have drafted that way, Gene. Every one of their running backs kind of fits that 5'11", 200-pound mold. They don't have the real big running back. Winder, he may have fumbled. He certainly didn't make the first down as he stops at the 40-yard line.
Well, Burgess Owens came from the outside, came from his safety position right up on the line of scrimmage, and really just flew down the line of scrimmage to make. You can see him on the bottom of your screen, number 44. Sees the action. He's just going to take a shot right down there and make this tackle. He'll come right into the middle of the screen.
And that stops the Broncos a yard shy of the first down. 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. When you're 2 and 5, why not? That awakens the Coliseum crowd from their slumber. Egloff, the man in motion. The pitch to Paris. The flag is down. Paris appeared to make the first down, but now we'll check the penalty marker.
I think it's going to be offsides against the Raiders. I think Rod might have jumped a little too soon. When Egloff came in motion one direction, went back the other way, it confused the Raiders defense a little bit. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. There he is, number 53.
So Martin's offside, and they don't need to measure for the first down. The Broncos have it.
Defensive end, first down.
Well, the Raiders have allowed 2 first downs by penalty on this drive. The Broncos being assisted downfield to the 35-yard line. Last week, 14 penalties marked off against the Raiders in their victory against the Rams. But they've been able to win, losing only once despite their penalty mistakes. A loss of 5 as Rod Martin makes amends for that offside penalty as he takes 5 away from the Bronco offense.
The Raiders feel that they really must shut down Denver's running game. What they're doing is bringing their linebackers up a little closer to the line of scrimmage. They're bringing their safeties up. Sometimes fake blitz, sometimes they'll come. You can see Rod Martin does an outstanding job on the outside, gets up there, makes the tackle for the loss. But they feel they really need to shut down their run because they want Steve DeBerg to throw the football.
The Raiders toughest in the American Conference against the rush. You'd have to throw to be able to beat Los Angeles. 2nd down and 15. DeBerg has a man, and it's complete at the 23-yard line to Rick Upchurch. First down, Denver. 22 yards on the play.
Well, Denver got the matchup they wanted. They got their fastest receiver, Rick Upchurch, man-to-man against number 20, Ted Watts. He's playing today, by the way, with a bout case of the flu. And I think he's going to give Rick a little room when he's playing him in that man-to-man situation. DeBerg came off of him not as his primary receiver, but as a secondary receiver. There, completion.
From the 23, first down, Denver. On the opening drive of the game, already consuming 5.5 minutes. That's Ricky Paris inside the 20. Gain of about 4, 2nd down and 6. Matt Millen made the stop as Dan Reeves staring through the California sunshine. What a What a transition this must be for the Denver club. Just buried in snow in the Rocky Mountains. Lucky to get to the airport. They didn't practice the last 2 days, and now basking in a 70-degree day here in Los Angeles.
Think they might want to spend the night?
I think it's going to be tough to get them home, holidays or not. In fact, it may be tough. I understand Stapleton Airport in Denver still only functioning at about a 25% level. Oops, a blown play, but DeBerg gets about 4 yards out of it to the 15. He was looking for somebody to hand the pumpkin to, and they'd all left.
Well, you can see that one of the running backs is obviously going the wrong way. Looks around. He says, wait a minute, what happened? It's too late then. DeBerg does the only thing he can do. He goes forward. Steve's not the swiftest guy around. He's had a few knives put on those knees, so he's not going to try to break any long ones running the football.
Well, he ad-libbed for 4, and it's 3rd down and 2. Winder. And the rookie has a first down as he gets to the 10-yard line. Now, the Broncos have used now, as it's 8 minutes showing on the clock, 7 minutes on this drive with the opening kickoff, and have the ball first down at the 10. They have to make the full 10 for the touchdown.
Good job of running by number 23, Sammy Winder, but number 87, the tight end, puts a great block on Ted Hendricks, and that's really what springs the play. You can see 83, Ted, standing back there all out of the play because Wright really put a good block on it.
First and goal from the 10. Gerald Wilhite, the #1 draft pick of the Broncos from San Jose State, gets only a yard as Martin and Millen, linebackers for the Raiders, make the stop. Second down and goal. Well, he didn't get the yard even. The ball just inside the 10.
Dick, what's happening? There's a shot of a great defensive back, Willie Brown. Boy, I had a few go-arounds with him when they were up in Oakland. You know, the Raiders lost to Cincinnati, and the reason they lost was that Cincinnati controlled the line of scrimmage. So far here in the first quarter, Denver is doing a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
On second down, it's Winder. He cuts back right into the arms of Rod Martin. Martin coming from the offside, able to make the hit after a 2-yard gain, and it's 3rd and goal from the 8.
Rod Martin just seems to be all over the football field. You know, he's not a big guy. He's 6'2", only about 215. But when you see him in person, if you shake hands with him, his hands just envelop you. He's just these huge hands, strong arms, really good quickness. So he's able to shut off the blockers really well, and he stays on his feet. He's very agile all over the football field. Many people feel that he's the best player on the Raider defense.
DeBerg intercepted by Matt Millen. Millen, the linebacker.
He's going to run out of gas.
50, 40-yard line. Matt Millen. He hasn't run that far since he was in high school. 64 yards for Matt Millen, and get out the oxygen tanks.
Well, Matt Millen has trimmed down from about 270 pounds to 255. This ball is thrown right in his arms, and frankly, I thought he was going to run out of gas a lot sooner than this, but he does quite a job. Look at him.
Well, we'll just roll into commercial. He'll still be running when we come back. No score, 6 minutes left in the first quarter. The big linebacker for the Los Angeles Raiders has just returned officially 60 yards with an interception to the Denver 41-yard line, as the Broncos, #1 in the NFL in turnovers, have coughed it up again, and Plunkett to Christensen, the tight end, 30 and out of bounds at the 29 with a first down. Goes Christensen. Let's go back to the Matt Millen interception at the goal line.
I think Steve had decided where he was going to throw this football actually before he left the huddle, because he threw it right into Matt's arms. Puts it under his arms and just looks like an old fullback, not a young one. Does a good job of running down the field.
They call him Spike in Bulldog attitude. And he grumbled and growled his way down for 60 yards, and now the Raiders with a chance at 5:56 showing in the first quarter. First down. Oops, looked like there was motion on the play. King is the ball carrier to the 25. No flag is down. Appeared that Allen got a little jump on the start. Barney Chavis, the veteran from South Carolina State, number 79, made the tackle for Denver.
Well, no flag on the play.
Apparently, it was not a well-executed play, but apparently everyone a little slow getting off. And Allen was the only one on the snap. Marcus Allen. And a flag is down. Randy Gradishar met Allen a couple yards into the secondary. We'll check the penalty. It appears to be holding Raiders. Let's introduce the Los Angeles offense for you. Jim Plunkett, the quarterback, who has been throwing the ball as well the last 4 games as ever. He's had 3 300-yard passing games in the last 4. And he has the sensational rookie Marcus Allen and reliable Kenny King with him in the backfield.
Holding, number 50 on the offense. Still second down.
Wide receivers are Cliff Branch and Malcolm Barnwell. The tight end is Todd Christensen. The offensive line, Dave Dalby at center, Kurt Marsh and Mickey Marvin of the guards, Bruce Davis and Henry Lawrence at tackle for Tom Flores Raiders. On 2nd and 16. Malcolm Barnwell slipped as he made his turn, and by that time the ball was on its way out of bounds.
What Denver's going to do on defense, the number 1 guy they're going to try to stop really is not Marcus Allen, but it's Cliff Branch. They will probably use double coverage a lot, either 2 backs, or they'll put a linebacker out, walk a linebacker out on him. He's the man they feel they must stop. Now that means that Barnwell is going to have a lot of one-on-one coverage. He was one-on-one that time. Had he not slipped, I think he would have caught the football.
Cliff Branch out of Colorado. He now has 431 career catches and 62 touchdowns. And he's going deep left. Open is Christensen. And that's going to be very close to the first down at the 18-yard line. There's a case where Branch cleared out deep, and then Christensen curled underneath and was wide open.
The linebacker, number 50, Jim Ryan, you can see him. He's going out trying to take away the underneath throw to Branch. He makes a good move, but Plunkett picks up Christensen as tight end. You can see that Plunkett's going to look downfield first, then he's going to come over. There's Christensen all alone, and that's the area that's vacated because they're trying to take away that pass to Cliff Branch.
And just enough for the first down for Christensen, who leads the Raiders with 31 catches coming into this game. Marcus Allen with 30. Just 1 behind. 4:18 left in the quarter. No score. Kenny King out of bounds. Corner pushed him out of bounds. Marcus Allen can run it, he can throw it, and he can catch it, and he can block.
Well, he sure can. He played fullback for a while at USC. Kenny King, who has really good speed, trying to get around the outside, but it's tough to sweep against the 3-4 defense. It's because you have those linebackers with very good pursuit angles. We'll take a look at Marcus as he tries to block. I think he's going to be trying to block Ernie Wright. Louis Wright on the outside. Louis does a good job of
warding him off. 2nd down and 5. Plunkett. Incomplete. Cliff Branch was to the left and Frank Hawkins to the right. The ball went right between the 2 of them. Plunkett wondering, hey, somebody didn't do what I expected. You don't like to come back to the huddle and see your quarterback with his hands on his hips.
You try to make those guys happy. You know, they control your destiny. They really do. I used to do everything I could for John Brody. Carry his luggage. I'd do anything. Just throw me that ball.
You don't think that the quarterback gets too much credit?
No, I really don't. I really don't. Most important position on the football field.
Denver has given up a lot of points this year. 3rd and 5. Plunkett a lot of time, and he's got his man at the 10. Make it the 5-yard line. First down. Marcus Allen.
Well, Jim's offensive line is really giving him a lot of time to throw the ball. Looks around the field, finds Marcus Allen. And it's really nice when you have a running back who can run patterns and really understands what you're trying to do on offense in a passing scheme. And the other thing about having a guy like Marcus Allen is when he catches the football, he's so dangerous. You know, he can usually make one guy miss. It's just been such a great addition to this football team.
Tremendous draft pick by the Raiders. The youngest man in the field for Los Angeles is Marcus Allen. First and goal at the 5. Allen gets a couple. Number 56, Larry Evans, spearheaded the defensive charge, along with 72, Don Latimer, the nose guard.
I think that the addition of Marcus Allen to this Raider football team has really helped Jim Plunkett. And I played with Jim at Stanford and with the 49ers. Jim has a tendency to want to carry the entire burden himself, particularly if things are not going well. But if he can concentrate on his own job, and if he can have other people around him who are playing well, and he can be relaxed, he is as good a quarterback as there is. And I think Marcus Allen really helps Jim Plunkett.
Makes Plunkett better. Second and goal from the 2.5. They come in with 3 tight ends. That's Ramsey in motion. Looking for Ramsey is Plunkett. He's got him. Oh! But Ramsey doesn't have the ball. It's third and goal. Aaron Kyle was the closest Bronco, number 22.
Well, everything worked out the way you draw it up on the board, except he just didn't hold on to the football. Got himself in a man-on-man situation with a defensive back much smaller than he is. Got himself between the defensive back and the football. Only problem is it hit him in the hands.
That's right. Ramsey has not caught a pass this year as he's lost his starting tight end job to Todd Christensen. Third and goal outside the 2. Christensen is on the right side. Ramsey bookends the left side, and this is Derek Jensen in motion. Marcus Allen doesn't get in. So the Broncos not playing like a 2-5 team. The offense marched it down the field, only to cough it up on the interception. The defense has stopped the Raiders and forces the field goal unit to come on.
Well, they're trying to go around the right side, but you can see number 53, Randy Gradishar, getting over there along with Jim Ryan. Barney Chavis over there, they do a good job of stuffing it up. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, when these two teams get together, it's a real grudge match. And down in that interior line, you have those big Raider offensive linemen. They're going against some tough guys. Reuben Carter, Rulon Jones. They really go at it.
This is shorter than an extra point try from the 9-yard line. A 19-yard field goal attempt. You don't like to see those in the box score the next day, but Tom Flores wanted to come away with something and does. Barr gives the Raiders a 3-0 lead. 1:48 left in the quarter. 9-yard field goal, lead 3-0 late in this first quarter. Deep to return, Steve Wilson and Wilhite. Gerald Wilhite out to the 24-yard line, and the penalty flag is down. And probably illegal use of the hands. No. Block below the waist against the Broncos on the return. Let's run down all the scores in this critical next to the last week of the regular season. In games, Denver holds a 6-4 mark, including 2 wins against the Raiders last year. Denver starts from deep in its own end at about the 12-yard line, and Paris gains only a couple against that very tough to run against Raider defense. Rest of the scores, Green Bay a big win in Atlanta, 38-2 Soaps for home. They're now 5-3. The Jets have scored first at Minnesota, 7-0 New York. Here, 3-0 the Raiders. DeBerg, and Matt Millen has the sack. DeBerg hit from the blind side by Millen. He's been his tormentor thus far, an interception and a sack.
Well, I was a little surprised on this play. DeBerg is going to fake the play action. Then he looks out to Upchurch. I think he was expecting a different pattern. Upchurch was going down the field. He was well covered by Lester Hayes. And he was just a sitting duck for Matt Millen, number 55. He's right in the middle, but you see he loops. They have those games. Alzado's coming to the inside. Millen is going to go to the outside, and he gets DeBerg from the blind side.
He was a defensive tackle, Millen, at Penn State, next to Bruce Clark, another outstanding All-American. Oops, Alzado jumped the gun. DeBerg. It's a safety unless Alzado was offside on his own. If he was pulled offside, then that's a 2-pointer for the Raiders. You know, it's against Los Angeles. So number 77, Alzado, against his former team, the Denver Broncos. So, you know, he's going to try to do well this afternoon. You see the armbands, number 11, mentioned in a moment.
Offsides, number 77 of the defense, still third down.
Fred Cash and the referee, the rest of the officials with the number 11 armband, memory of Vince Jacob, one of their fellow officials who passed away this week. Ball at the 14-yard line, third down and 9 for the Broncos, and out of the shotgun, DeBerg. That'll be good for the first down. Through to Rob or Dave Preston from Bowling Green, number 46, out of the backfield over the middle, and a first down at the 25.
You know, Steve DeBerg had the chance to play under Bill Walsh. And one of the things you learn when you play for a guy like Bill Walsh is you learn how to read the defenses very well. You learn how to find your...
The 26-yard line with a first down in the second quarter. Each team had the ball for one. Rolling and hitting Paris. Here the pads pop as Lester Hayes makes the hit. One of the things that having the chance to sit next to you and be able to pick your brain today, Gene, is to develop from your perspective, a wide receiver's perspective, the change in the game, what the new rules have done. I mean, we all know that it's opened the game and passing is the thing, but as from the receiver's point of view, what you see now that you didn't see when you were playing, we'll develop that as it goes on.
I'll just simply say I would love to be playing now.
DeBerg, hard hit, and it flops incomplete out at the 30-yard line as Bob Nelson was the man who came in on quarterback Steve DeBerg. That'll bring up third down.
As I mentioned, let's take a look at the nose guard, number 62, Reggie Kinlaw, who takes on Billy Bryan, the center. That allows Bob Nelson to loop around. And Nelson is tall at 6'4", and he's able to jump up and knock that ball away. And they want to put pressure on Steve DeBerg, and they're going to do it by bringing one of their 4 linebackers, and in some cases they'll bring both. You can see he gets that big 6'4" frame up there, deflects the pass.
Third down, 8. DeBerg going long for Upchurch, and he missed him by about 15 yards. Upchurch well covered by Burgess Owens and Ted Watts. So the Bronco punting team comes on, and that means we'll see the top kicker in the National Football League this year, Luke Prestridge, who is averaging over 46 yards a punt with a net of nearly 40 a kick. The 4-year man out of Baylor University. His kid brother Jeff is the punter, senior for the University of Washington. The Huskies winning a thriller in the Aloha Bowl, 21-20 over Maryland yesterday. Greg Pruitt alone at the 27. Beautiful spiral. Pruitt all the way back to the 20. 25, and they finally get him down, and a flag is down as well. Rob Lytle from Michigan down to make the tackle. A 51-yard kick, 4-yard return.
Greg Pruitt has made a big contribution to the Raider football team.
Raiders another penalty.
He's outstanding player back in Cleveland, great running back. But Al Davis felt that Greg Pruitt could win a couple of games for them just running back kicks. Had a big run back last week against the Rams. But a terrific contribution he also makes is in terms of leadership. And I think Marcus Allen had mentioned to you how much help that he'd been in practice and helping him learn about defenses and how to move in certain ways.
Back to the 14-yard line on the illegal use of the hands.
Illegal block during the run back. Number 45 of the receivers. It'll be first and 10.
Raiders' James Davis guilty of the foul. And there's a timeout here in Los Angeles early into the second quarter, and didn't see on that last punt return.
Well, they're going to call James Davis, number 45. You'll see him there. He pushes from behind. Not much, but look at this. Look at that face mask. Oh.
Well, he almost turned the helmet completely around. They didn't see that one. So the Raiders start from the 14-yard line with a 3-0 lead. Plunkett with King and Allen behind him. Going deep. Barnwell. All the way to the 34-yard line. one of the reasons why the Broncos are having a long season. They're 27th in total defense.
Well, Plunkett had 2 burners on the same side of the field. Branch in the middle, taking the safety deep, just lost the ball up there. You can see that Barnwell had to wait for the football. He's only about 9'4" in the 100. They have 3 guys, Branch, Muhammad, and Barnwell, who can really fly. Plunkett just threw that one up as far as he could, and Steve Wilson had no chance.
52 yards, and had the ball led Barnwell a little more, that was a touchdown. First down at the Denver 34-yard line. Kenny King. Great block. King out of bounds at the 24, but a flag is down. And we may have a foul against the Raiders. Yep. Illegal use of the hands. Holding. You could see the one official through the flag just curling his arm as if he was wrapping his arm around an imaginary soul, as if to say, can't hook that defensive player.
That's too bad, because that negates a terrific block by Marcus Allen. He just leveled I think it was one of the linebackers. He knocked him down and just kept running to look for someone else.
There are the men in the black and white stripes. You could hear the block that Allen put on that Bronco on the corner. That wasn't the man that fouled.
Holding during the run at the line of scrimmage, number 46 of the offense.
Todd Christensen committed the foul, already the 6th penalty.
Well, there's Marcus Allen leading the way, and these 2 guys really, look at this block. Oh, well, you can see Todd Christensen holding right there. Marcus has knocked this man down. Now he's going downfield for another block.
Look at that. And running 2 men off the field with that. That's why he is an outstanding player. Tom Jackson blitzing and getting Plunkett, and a foul on Jackson. He didn't stop when the whistle sounded, and Plunkett didn't like it. Personal foul, roughing the passer. The talking tackler, Tom Jackson, hit with a foul. So instead of the sack, which would have really pinned the Raiders deep, Jackson, a little too zealous in his hit on Plunkett, gives the Raiders 15.
A couple of years ago, you can see there, number 57 coming from the outside on the blitz. He gets Plunkett. A couple of years ago, this really wouldn't have been a call. But in an effort to try to alleviate some of the injuries, particularly to quarterbacks who are unprotected, they feel that if the defensive man has control of the quarterback, they're going to stop the play. There's no need to go any further. A couple of years ago, that wouldn't have been a penalty.
That's right, and in fact, you could hear the whistle early. It was in the grasp of Jackson, and Jackson could have just let go then, but kind of frustrating for the tackler, too. They're taught to knock the man down on the ground, and it takes a lot of discipline to just give up when you really have your man clean like that.
That's right. They use words like kill the quarterback.
That's right. Plunkett going for 6. And Louis Wright knocks it away from Malcolm Barnwell. There's a man that is not appreciated by many of the fans around the country, but certainly when you talk to the players about the fine cornerbacks in this league, Louis Wright's name is usually in the higher echelon.
Well, you can ask me. I had I was going to say good fortune. I won't say it's good fortune to play against him. He's very quick, very mobile, but he has great size. So when you get in a situation like that where you're running side by side and you look back for the football, he has an advantage over you. He's a couple inches taller. He can get up and knock that ball away. And you're right, he's not appreciated. He's like Jimmy Johnson was with the 49ers. They don't throw his way, so you don't hear his name.
He only has 9 career interceptions in 8 years. Kenny King, and he's met hard by Bryson Manor, the defensive end from Arkansas. Going back to Louis Wright, one of his coaches described him as having the typical cornerback personality. I wonder if you agree with this, if this is how the quarterbacks rate. He says he is introverted and sometimes temperamental. That's cornerback personality. That covers a multitude, I would think.
Sounds like a murderer.
3rd down and 8. It does, doesn't it?
Comes a blitz.
Plunkett throwing deep to Christensen.
Could be interference.
It is. Interference against number 26, the veteran J.T. Thomas, the former Steeler.
Well, give Mr. Plunkett a lot of credit. Look at the blitz. Linebackers up there. They're coming. That forces the defensive backs man to man. You can see Christensen in the middle of the field. JT has to take him tight because he doesn't want that quick pass thrown to him, tries to recover. Jim does a good job of just getting the football away here. He doesn't get a lot on it, lofts it up there, but actually this helps the receiver because he's able to come back and draw the interference foul.
It's almost like a mortar pass because you're surrounded. You can only throw one way, and that's up. First and goal, Raiders. They lead 3-0. The ball at the 4-yard line. The leading touchdown makers in the league have another, Marcus Allen. Allen's 11th touchdown of the year.
Well, there are not many running backs who can beat Tom Jackson, a very good linebacker one-on-one. They used Cliff Branch to clear out the area. Marcus Allen came across the field, and he simply just beat Jackson really at the line of scrimmage with a very good move for 6 points.
Yeah, the Raiders didn't fool around with the running game on first down. They went for the touchdown and score. Plunkett to Allen, and now Barr for the extra point try. It's good. And with 12:35 remaining in the first half, the Los Angeles Raiders, looking for their 7th win in 8 games, lead it 10-0. And we're pleased you've joined us here in Los Angeles today. Kickoff deep to Gerald Wilhite at the goal line. And he's out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. 10-0. The Raiders lead it. It took them only 2 minutes to go 86 yards on that last scoring drive. 52-yard pass to Malcolm Barnwell. Set it up, and then Plunkett Allen 4 yards for the score.
Well, there's number 56, Jeff Barnes, backup linebacker going down. So important to do a good job on special teams. And the Raiders do as good a job as most folks. Stop them about the 22-yard line.
Hockey does everything right. Dick Enberg, Gene Washington. We welcome those of you who are watching the Jets-Minnesota game. The Broncos with the ball. DeBerg completes it to Sammy Winder, the rookie who's starting his first game, and he has a first down out at the 34-yard line. The Raiders with a 6-1 record coming in, best in the American Football Conference, lead Denver 10-0. The Broncos struggling with a 2-5 mark. They are out of the playoffs. Los Angeles has just scored here early in the second quarter. A long 86-yard drive. Key play was a 52-yard pass from Plunkett to Malcolm Barnwell. The score, 4-yard pass to Marcus Allen, Allen's 11th touchdown of this year. You figure this is the 8th game of the season. You track that over a 16-game season, Allen would have 22 touchdowns, a record. Incomplete to Ricky Parris.
Well, as we mentioned when the game began, a lot of people were surprised at the success that Marcus Allen is having because he wasn't the first running back taken. Some people thought that he didn't have enough speed.
I think that Ricky Bell, when Tampa Bay took Bell, they thought of Allen being more like a Ricky Bell type, and he was somewhat disappointing for the Buccaneers, and some shied away.
But I think Allen reminds me an awful lot of O.J. He has that ability to be going straight ahead and all of a sudden go to the left in a hurry.
Ricky Parris. Nothing there except Rod Martin, number 53, another ex-Trojan.
Look at the smile on his face. Uses those big arms, just sheds the tackler, or the blocker, I should say, and makes a stop. Dan Reeves is obviously not too happy with the way things are going here. Tom Flores wanting to win today to ensure that home field advantage in the first playoffs. If they go down and win next week against San Diego, they can have every game at home. You know, Marcus takes his success in stride. I mean, it's incredible for a young guy to have all that success and really not get a big hit.
He's a terrific young man, and the Raiders fortunate to have him. Full blitz. DeBerg going deep and has his man, Rick Upchurch, out at the 47-yard line, and a first down for Denver. Upchurch, who set a National Football League tied a record last week when he returned a punt for a touchdown, his 8th touchdown on a punt return, tying Jack Christensen's mark.
Well, DeBerg just sort of throws a moon ball out here. The defensive back, James Davis, he just doesn't really even see it coming, and he doesn't think that Upchurch has a chance to catch the football. But Rick has an awful lot of physical ability. You know, and some people are a little surprised that he hasn't turned out to be a great wide receiver. And I think that's because he concentrates so much on his punt returning responsibilities.
So, first down. And Parris And again, the Broncos, like so many prior to them, unable to run the football against the Raider defense. We want to apologize for those of you who are expecting to see the Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. We understand they're having some telephone difficulties out of the Twin Cities, and that's why you're watching this game from Los Angeles, as is Bob Chandler, one of the outstanding wide receivers for the Raiders, who injured last year, very serious injury, and injured again this season. Has a comfortable seat there along the sidelines.
What a great athlete. Great basketball player, great tennis player, good golfer. The Raiders really miss having him out there, too.
They say he was even a good centerfold model. Almost intercepted into the hands of number 23, Otis McKinney, a former Jet. Dick Enberg and Gene Washington here in Los Angeles. And for those of you who are just joining us, let's run down the score. We'll continue the scores after this play. 3rd down and 9.
Celebrating a little too soon, holding the ball up. And one of the Denver players just caught up with him in a hurry. I think it was Watson. Little mix-up here between DeBerg and his receiver. Steve throwing to a spot. Steve Watson, number 81, not there. Watson turning to the inside on this hook pattern. Goes out, comes back inside. DeBerg throws it outside. James Davis is right there. Holds the ball up, thinking he has touchdown.
I said, uh-oh.
Nope.
Dave Preston was the man who saved the touchdown. James Davis, his first professional interception, 55 yards. He had a short touchdown, but he slowed up just enough, and Preston, hustling, stopped the score. He didn't slow down, and he wasn't touched. King with a score, and the Raiders lead 16-0.
Those two guys in the backfield, Allen and Kenny King, really complement each other. Marcus Allen has the move, side-to-side acceleration. Kenny King has pure speed. Those high-top black shoes, and he just outruns the defender to the goal line, beating number 45, Steve Wilson, for a touchdown. He just picks him up, puts him down. Can't catch him, 6 points.
He's even scoring in touch football. Barr to try the extra point. Barely hooking that one through. It's 17-0. The Los Angeles Raiders using 2 long interception returns. One 60 yards by Matt Millen, another 55 yards by James Davis, and they've jumped in front big. Los Angeles Raiders, they're playing for the home field. They've been saying all week out here that they win today and win in San Diego next week, and we can stay here through all 3 rounds of the playoffs, and that would even include the 4th game, the Super Bowl in nearby Pasadena. Steve Wilson at the 6. He is clobbered at the 25. His daddy played on this field. Touchdown, Tommy Wilson with the Los Angeles Rams. And Steve, the son, hammered after a short return as Jeff Barnes, 57, made the tackle. We started on the scores. Here are the rest of them. Cincinnati, the Cardinals are 5-3. The Giants dropped to 3-5. Here's 17-0. Steve DeBerg trying to play catch-up. He hits Steve Watson. He can go. And tackled at the 45-yard line by Ted Watts, number 20. And Watson, who has excellent speed, had he not been slowed down as he twisted away, he had clear sailing. 30 yards in the play.
Well, Steve Watson is really a hungry receiver. I mean, he had a good year last year. Teams are starting to double cover him. You can see there are 2 guys out there. Ted Hendricks almost knocks the ball away. When I say hungry, he really loves to play. He's a good competitor, not the fastest guy around, but he's got those long legs, and if he gets going, he can really, get to that end zone in a hurry. But when you haven't seen that ball, you've been getting double coverage, and it comes your way, you want to take advantage of every situation. I know, I've been in some of those situations. and it gets to be, you get a little frustrated. But this guy really likes to play, and when that ball comes his way, he's going to try to get it.
Not slow getting up. He appeared to be all right. First down for Denver, trailing 17-0. They start from the 46. Gerald Wilhite, and a flag down as Wilhite runs out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. James Davis there to make the tackle. Personal foul, clipping against Denver. Ted Watts, as Gene Washington mentioned earlier, has been suffering with the flu all week, so that didn't help the stomach at all to have Watson fall on him.
I spoke to Willie Brown, the Raiders defensive back coach, and he felt that Ted might not be able to play the entire game because of his condition with the flu. Let's listen to the call. Well, I thought we were going to listen, but we got clear indication it's
Red Cashin.
But they're very high on number 45, James Davis. He has very good speed, and they feel that he's going to be a really good defensive back.
There's Kenny King from Oklahoma. Played with the Heisman winner, Billy Sims. Now with another Heisman, Marcus Allen. DeBerg has to eat it as Howie Long, number 75, and Ted Hendricks, 83, are in on top of him, and Mike Davis comes up with a football.
Mike Davis is strong safety, number 36. You can see he's playing cat and mouse, comes on the outside behind Hendricks, and they meet back there, and they meet at number 17, Steve DeBerg. That's 75, Howie Long. The Raiders do this, I think, more than most football teams when they blitz with their safeties. Sometimes they'll bring Burgess Owens from the free safety position, but Mike Davis, because of his physical size, he comes on the blitz. If there's a running back there to block him, he can oftentimes overpower him and get to the quarterback.
You could see the frustration displayed by Steve DeBerg as time is called, and he just slammed the ball down. Mark Herman, one of the three Denver quarterbacks. Of course, Craig Morton, injured, has announced his retirement. And Herman, it's already been announced by Dan Reeves, will be the starter in the season's finale at Seattle next Sunday. Herman has not taken a snap in his 2 years since being drafted out of Purdue, and we may indeed even see him before this game is over. Steve DeBerg might even will him that job the way things are going. Second down and long. Have to get all the way to the 35-yard line for a first down.
Could be intercepted.
That ball bouncing around like a pinball. There were 4 different Raiders that touched it. Orlando McDaniel, 82, was the intended receiver.
But we'll take a look at the zone defense that the Raiders are employing. Denver has to go a long way downfield, so the linebackers are taking deep drops. Orlando does a good job of coming back to the football, but as you mentioned, he just sort of bounces around there like they're playing volleyball.
It was touched 6 times before it hit the ground. 32-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Third down and 32. Not too many plays for this situation. You bet that the Raiders are going to make it interesting for DeBerg.
Well, they faked the blitz back in the zone.
Closest man to the ball was the Los Angeles Raider linebacker Rod Martin. Wade Manning, 83, the intended receiver. And the Broncos will have to give up the football.
Well, the Raiders have accomplished thus far what they wanted to do. They said they wanted to shut down the run and force Denver to throw the football. They do that by blitzing a lot. They get them in long passing situations, then they drop back into the zone defense and let the linebackers get way back there. And that's tough for the quarterback. You look downfield and you just see all those dark jerseys and no place to throw it.
Prestridge gets one off the side of his foot, and Pruitt comes up to the 27, 30, and down at the 37. So 10 yards for the veteran Greg Pruitt on a 41-yard punt from the NFL leader, Luke Prestridge. Both in the Rose Bowl and the Super Bowl. We'll give you the question after this. First down from the 38, Plunkett leading 17-0. Marcus Allen squirms for about 4 yards. How many of the 6 quarterbacks can you name that played both in the Rose Bowl and the Super Bowl? It's kind of an interesting trivia question because you've been involved with some of them in your career. We'll give you think about the answer, and we'll let the folks think about it. We'll give you the answer before this half is over. 81 Steve Watson. And they're going to check out apparently his elbow, taking him into the dressing room. Kenny King on a little check-off pass, and he ducks out of bounds at the 44 with a 2-yard gain. Larry Evans, 56 on the tackle. The answer, the 6 quarterbacks.
Well, I know that Jim Plunkett is one.
Plunkett indeed is one. Pete Beathard, who played at SC in Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Greasy, Purdue, and the Dolphins. Earl Morrall at Michigan State and the Baltimore Colts. Joe Kapp, California, and Minnesota. Wait, there's one more. That's the tough one. Mike Ray. USC and the Oakland Raiders. Ray as a substitute quarterback. Third and 5 for the Raiders. Barnwell. And a vicious hit coming up from the secondary. J.T. Thomas, number 26, broke up the play. Look at that. Now that's the modern day football scouting. Those are Polaroid pictures taken upstairs in the press box, rushed down, almost like waiting for the photo at Santa Anita to see whether or not your horse won.
I think what they have are snapshots of the defensive backfield as they go into the various coverages. They're the Jets over Minnesota, 21-0 in the second quarter.
1 week to go. January 2nd, next Sunday, and then into the tournament. Raymond Guy to kick. Rick Upchurch standing inside his 20. Beautiful kick. Heading toward the sidelines. And you'll lose some of the distance as the ball angled out of bounds upfield at about the 25. Going to mark it at the 26-yard line. So it's just a 32-yard kick. Timeout. 7:03 remaining in this first half. The Broncos trying to get something going. Upshaw on a scholarship with the Raiders. Gene Upshaw also not in uniform today. Denver trailing 17-0. DeBerg almost intercepted by Matt Millen. He's got 3 this year, 1 early today. DeBerg has hit more Raiders than Broncos in this first half.
Well, the Raider linebackers are able to get good deep drops. They're really not concerned with any play action because they feel that Denver must throw the ball, so they get those deep drops. And it's difficult for the quarterback to hit those medium-range passes. That time he was trying to get Wade Manning coming across the middle. Linebackers were just really right in the area he wanted to throw the ball.
Denver can be a sleeping giant. We'll tell you about that in a moment. As breaking away is Will Height, and he has a first down out at the 37, just down the freeway at Anaheim. Just a couple of weeks ago, and you worked that game. The Broncos were trailing the Rams 21-0, and the final score of that game was Denver 27, Los Angeles 24. Of course, they're dealing with a different opponent today in the Raiders, but the Broncos know they can come from back. Let's talk about next week because NBC has some outstanding matchups.
Cleveland in the winner.
Of course, they love to invite a warm weather team into their nest. Third down and short for DeBerg.
Could be interference.
Yes, a late flag as Matt Millen had Nathan Poole wrapped up a bit prematurely.
Well, DeBerg in this situation trying to get something started, and he's really forcing the football. The Raiders are playing good defense, but I think Steve's attitude is, I have to make something happen. You can't be just perfect. This situation, he gets a little lucky coming up with an interference call.
Interference. You know, a lot of fans watching up in Denver, and they've been sorely disappointed in this Bronco team after a 10-6 under Dan Reeves last year, the 38-year-old coach of the Broncos. 2-5, and many feel that the strike hurt Denver as a team as much as any club in the NFL. DeBerg, whoa, trying to get it away. And Mike Davis, 36, he was like a shortstop pointing to the ball to an outfielder. He knew it was flip-flopping up there and was trying to say, there it is, go for it, as Lyle Alzado put the heat on DeBerg.
heat is the right word, because you'll see number 77. There he is coming right up the middle. Watch this. DeBerg throws the ball. Oh, and as you mentioned before, Lyle, having played for Denver, really wants to have a good game playing against some of his old teammates.
8 years with the Broncos, Alzado, before they traded him to the Cleveland Browns. Played with Cleveland for 3. Second and 10 at the 41. 17-0 Raiders lead. 6 minutes left in the half. Sammy Winder. And again, what yardage the Broncos are able to make on the ground is minimal. That was about 4 yards. It's 3rd and 6. Back to that point, Gene, and I know you've heard it as well, that the Denver club, insiders say that the Broncos, had they had a silent vote about the strike, would have voted not to strike, that they really wanted to play as much as any team. It's not a Union City, Denver, necessarily, and they felt with a complicated offense of Dan Reeves that they really needed that time to polish. You don't go out to the playground and work on the sophisticated offense that Dallas and Denver uses.
I think that's really the key. The players really know, particularly on offense, that they need a lot of time, a lot of repetition, because their offense really is involved, as is the offense of Dallas.
Ted Hendricks with a fly swat, and DeBerg going to have nightmares about this one. He hasn't had a clean chance to throw the ball yet.
He is so frustrated. He gets the ball back there. He's looking downfield trying to throw it. And you'll see that Hendricks and Alzado, as soon as he's ready, you can see Hendricks coming up the middle. No one touches him. Bats the ball away. And you're the quarterback. Watch DeBerg. He's just going to look at that look. He says, Hendricks knocks the ball in, looks around, and there's Alzado. What can you do?
Hendricks needed a ticket. He was in so cleanly. Prestridge lines it to Pruitt at the 8-yard line. 10, 20. And down at the 22-yard line. Rob Lytle, 41, in on the tackle. 46-yard punt. Nathan Poole was also in on the stop for Denver. In case you joined us late, the fans out watching in Hawaii, celebrating that maybe biggest of upsets in a long time in college basketball. Marcus Allen, short yardage. Just to review the scoring in this one, in the 17-0 Raiders, that's where we stand. 2nd down and 8. Short yardage for Allen. Brings up 3rd and about 4. Don Latimer, number 72, made the tackle. Well, next Saturday, NBC. Tune in to NBC, and we've got a full afternoon and evening of football for you. Reverse, Branch. He's down at the 32-yard line, short of the first down, as Tom Jackson read the play well. No, the Raiders, for one of the few times, will have to give up the football. Ray Guy comes in.
You know, Ray Guy has not been punting the ball as well this year as he had been in the past. And a reason for it is that he had back problems last year, and I understand he's still having problems with his back. As a matter of fact, when he's on the sidelines, he'll have a heat pack down there just to try to keep himself warm. Not getting the distance, but he is getting the ball high, and his net yardage is still very good.
Averaging less than 40 yards a kick, and for Guy, who is the leading active punter, career average over 43. That's testimony that he is not 100%. Hits that one high, but very short. Wilhite comes up to fair catch it at the 38-yard line, and Denver will begin there. With 2:55 left in the half, Gene Washington, this is really a critical possession for the Broncos. If they can score here and make it 17-7, they go into the dressing room at halftime with a chance to say, hey, we could pull this one out. If they don't come up with something, and they've really been stymied totally, then it looks like it's going to be a long afternoon for them.
Well, I think the key thing is an often used phrase, momentum. But it really means an awful lot. And as you said, if you go into the locker room and if you score, you know, your spirits are lifted and you feel that, hey, we could still win this football game. And you're right, this really is a critical possession for Denver.
Draw play to Paris. He's got some running room, 50. And he's all the way to the 41-yard line. Check that, that's Nathan Poole who carried, and Poole, I believe that's his first rush entire season, and he gains 21 yards.
Well, that's not a bad start. Getting the ball, 55, Matt Millen, a little out of position. but Nathan turns on the speed.
Times, then they've gotten back.
Worst turnover ratio in the entire league. As you said, they're minus 17 now. The Raiders coming into this game were plus 2. And that's been the thing that's really hurt Denver all season long. They had 4 big turnovers last week, 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns. Can't win football games like that.
So Tim Plunkett, 2:12 left in the half. Going for Marcus Allen for a touchdown. Cheaper by the dozen. Touchdown today. Glassick and Howard on the Denver sidelines.
Look, play action fake from Plunkett. Beautiful pass. Lost the ball up in the air because he knows that Allen has Tom Jackson beat. Allen just runs under the football, collects it for a touchdown. The same play that they had run successfully before. Denver is trying to play Allen one-on-one in passing situations with Tom Jackson, who can usually cover any running back. But I think he's being a little outclassed today because Marcus Allen is just eating him alive.
24-0 with 2:06 left in the half as Marcus Allen consistently throughout this season, strike delay or not, every game Allen has found his name in the first 2 or 3 paragraphs of the game story, if not the headliner. We have a break in the action. And the Raiders celebrate their sizable lead. Here are the score, and here it's 24-0. We have other partial scores for you after the kickoff. Steve Wilson to about the 25-yard line. Denver trailing 24-0. They may have to push DeBerg on the field. Checking to see who the quarterback is. You get out there. 2-minute warning comes at the 1:56 mark. And here in sunny Los Angeles, it's all Los Angeles Raiders, 24-0. Announcement furnished as a public service by the National Football League. 1:56 left. It's 70 degrees in Southern California today, or in the Los Angeles area. Snow-capped mountains you saw at the start of our telecast. We're mindful of the tremendous blizzard to hit Denver, Colorado. We hope you folks up there are able to dig your way out. And for the Broncos, they're buried up to the waist in a 24-point deficit. Gerald Wilhite diving out to the 33-yard line. Late games in the NFL, 3 more scores to bring to you. About 23-3 lead. No huddle offense as DeBerg to the sidelines. Almost a brilliant one-handed catch made by Gerald Wilhite, but it goes off his fingertips. And in Anaheim, the Bears leading the Rams 20-13. We'll have all the scores and highlights. NFL 82. Len Berman, Mike Adamley, and the gang back in New York. So stay with us. Steve DeBerg. You played with him for a season, didn't you?
Played with Steve in San Francisco for a while, and he's really a good student. He really listens, wants to learn. As I mentioned before, he learned an awful lot under Bill Walsh in terms of reading defenses, linebackers, and so forth. When he first came up with the 49ers, I really wasn't impressed with his passing ability.
Look at this. Now, this has been the frustration of the fans in Denver and certainly of DeBerg. Here's a team that not quite accommodating himself to all of the wrinkles of the offense. Players lined up in the wrong position, not running the right patterns, the fumbles, the mistakes, those all add up. Now, those can be corrected, and Dan Reeves has said the season for 83 starts today. I'm going to find out who wants to play and who can play. I wonder, there are not too many positive marks to this point.
Now, and if he stays in the second half, this game is, far from being over.
3rd down and 3. Wade Manning has a first down at the 41-yard line. That's his 2nd catch of the entire year. Former Ohio State center fielder. He had a .325 career batting average for the Buckeyes, and as a senior led them in home runs and stolen bases. Was drafted by a couple of Major League Baseball teams. Didn't play college football.
Come on, Howie. Beat him, Howie.
Over the middle to Manning, 2 for 2. He's batting 1,000 out to the 50-yard line, and it's short of a first down by a yard, and the clock is running. DeBerg trying to get something on the board. Quick out, incomplete to Manning, and that'll stop the clock. 44 seconds left in the half, and it'll be 3rd down and 1. In last night, so it's really been a very short week for them against a very tough team. And there's another DeBerg pass being deflected, and he's taken some mean punishment. Matt Millen just pressuring him as the 255-pound backer was on top of DeBerg before he could set up.
Well, Denver has done a poor job of picking up the blitz. The Raiders have blitzed several times, been very successful. You would think that they would go to the sidelines and say, okay, fellas, what can we do to pick up the blitz? They haven't done it.
Bill Bryan, 64, was downfield. There was no penalty flag. You saw him. He was the closest man to the ball when it landed in the secondary. 4th down and 1 with 41 seconds. Raiders are coming. First of all, procedure penalty against no play. Claudie Minor pulled up off the stance, and now the Raiders and Broncos get into it.
I think that's Lyle Alzado.
And Tom Glassick, 62. And Howie Long, 75. Long of the Raiders, former boxer. He was a collegiate champion at Villanova. Glassick, he collects miniature soldiers. I don't mean to make light of that, but that seems a mismatch. Illegal motion against,
I think it was
Denver.
against Claudie Minor. I think started a little too soon. And
oops, then a personal foul against the Raiders, and so it's nullifying penalties. It'll be 4th down and 1 again. Now remember, if the Broncos don't pick up the first down on this play, then the Raiders are going to have a half a minute to try to get more if they so desire. Steve DeBerg from San Jose State. He was drafted in the 10th round by the Dallas Cowboys in 1977. And to San Francisco, where he prepped under Bill Walsh and then traded on to the Denver Broncos. He was, remember, it was DeBerg 2 years ago who was hit in the throat, couldn't talk, and they had to use a microphone so that he could call signals. Hooked up a microphone in his football uniform.
comes the blitz.
Incomplete to Upchurch, and the Raiders take over on downs at midfield at the Denver. Well, it's right at the 50-yard line. Howie Long was putting pressure on DeBerg.
Well, Steve DeBerg has really been frustrated. This time he does get time to throw the ball. He just doesn't get it out to his man, Upchurch. And you can see the disgust on his face. He's just, what a first half.
On the field, the Raider offense with 33 seconds. Muhammad, you saw, number 82, out Calvin Muhammad from Texas Southern. And Cliff Branch is split to the left. Christensen slotted left. It's a double wing. Only Allen behind Plunkett. Cliff Branch. Plunkett threw up a lollipop, and Branch was there at the 32-yard line, an 18-yard play.
Well, Denver comes with their linebackers on the blitz. Their defensive backs are playing back off. Steve Wilson, number 45, is so intent on watching where Cliff Branch is going, he doesn't watch the football. Branch, very savvy receiver, comes back. As you mentioned, just sort of catches that ball that's floating out there like a duck that's been shot out of the air. Comes up with a reception.
23 seconds remaining, and Tom Flores and Jim Plunkett want to add to the 24-0 lead. Last year, Denver beat the Raiders 9-7 in Denver, and then 17-0 in Oakland. Raiders remember those things, and of course, Denver will remember how they've been embarrassed so far today.
Well, there's certainly no love lost between these two football teams.
DeBerg had an interesting, we'll get back to a quote earlier this week in regard to today's game. Marcus Allen, a couple touchdowns, both on receptions. He'll be watched. Deep to Branch and almost intercepted. Aaron Kyle from Wyoming almost grabbed that one. Back to DeBerg. This week he was quoted as the motivation for playing well for him was he didn't want to lose because that would be playing for a higher draft pick, and he's afraid when he looks at some of the names available in the collegiate ranks, he's talking about job jeopardy. He says, I want to win just so our draft pick won't be so high. Jack Elway and some of the others waiting to take their turn in the NFL. 18 seconds. Ball's at the 33-yard line. Marcus Allen to the 29-yard line. Tom Jackson made the hit for the Broncos. Time called by the Raiders. Stops the clock with 12 seconds. Plunkett to the sidelines. He's quite a guy, isn't he? Have an interesting family background. Parents were both handicapped, mother blind. Out of San Jose, California, career over, and then to come back in that Cinderella year 2 years ago and go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Overcome many, many obstacles. When he came to Stanford as a freshman, he didn't play football his freshman year because he had to have surgery underneath his throat. He had a tumor removed. Overcame that, played. Jim Plunkett was the redshirt quarterback my junior year at Stanford. He was so good. He was so good. I said, why can't we have him out here playing? And of course, the next year, he was eligible, then he played my senior year. Incredible. I caught 71 passes thanks to this guy. Just a beautiful quarterback and a beautiful person. I'd like to say hello to his beautiful wife, Jerry, up in the Bay Area. They're expecting their first child.
Oh, that's right. He's all excited about that. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he's quite a man.
It's it's one of the charms of this occupation is to encounter people who not only are so proficient in their physical skills, but are just quality people as well, and Plunkett is one of those. Wide open is Todd Christensen, and he wisely gets out of bounds all along. He's going to get as much yardage as he could. Got to the 18-yard line, ducked out of bounds with 6 seconds left. And now the Raiders could either go for the field goal or try one more play. Chris Barr is going to come in and try the field goal. He has one today and is 7 for 13 on the year. NFL 82 coming up at halftime. They'll tee it up at the 26-yard line. Mark Wilson, the backup quarterback from BYU, to set it up. So it's a 40. Make that 36-yard attempt. 36 yards for Barr. He squeaks it through. Just skinned off that upright. And the Raiders with 2 seconds left. 27-0. Tom Flores, now in his 4th year with the Raiders, and his team certainly ready. They've not relaxed, and some thought, well, they're playing a game that they should win between 2 tough games. They have San Diego next week, that they might relax. That has not been the case. They've been obviously the superior outfit this afternoon. So those of you watching up in the bay say, hey, this is our club. Oh, look at this. The Raiders almost recover the carom as it bounced right off Nathan Poole and back toward the Raiders. Then Poole fell on it at the 45-yard line with 1 second left. That only took a second. This clock started as soon as it hit Poole, and then he fell on it. Of course, the clock stops on change of possession, and the Broncos have one shot at it from the Raider 45-yard line. That's a number that is tough to digest. Broncos have been so proud of their defense in the last 7-8 years. They've been outstanding, and then suddenly to give up more points than anyone in the league. Who would have thought that at the start of their season?
They've had an awful lot of trouble with injuries, particularly their defensive backs, and the retirement of a great strong safety, Bill Thompson, Foley being hurt.
Last play, unless there's a penalty, of this half. Last touch by Burgess Owens, and that's the end of the first half here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. 27-0. The Raiders lead the Broncos. Well, Gene Washington off. Wilhite and Wilson are deep for the Broncos. Denver has not been shut out for 4 years. The last time they were whitewashed was in '78, losing 23-0. And they trail 27-0 as we start this second half. One of the things we're going to do as we get the scores in the late games, try to give you an idea going into the final week just how the playoff structure will work and what teams we might expect to be in that go-round. Steve Wilson dumped at the 15-yard line. Number 40, Rick Burns, made the tackle. Games remaining. This is the final week. This is the makeup week. 9th week of the strike shortened season. The Raiders at San Diego, and that'll be such a crucial game. Apparently San Diego is winning big at halftime as well. They'll be playing for home field for the entire playoffs. The winner of that game will be would have that right, because San Diego's already beaten Cincinnati. The Raiders with a win would have a better record than Cincinnati.
Mark Herman gets his first shot as an NFL quarterback.
That's his first handoff in the pro ranks. Herman, great player at Purdue, and he set all the NCAA passing records, was 4th in the Heisman balloting, 6'4", 195 pounds. His hobbies are golf and basketball. Well, I guess any good Hoosier would have to answer that he played basketball in the offseason. He's from Carmel, Indiana. The most valuable player in 3 consecutive bowl games. Sophomore, junior, and senior with the Boilermakers. Well, he's gotten his first handoff. Let's see about his first pass. 2nd down, 7. And his first pass is dropped by Wilhite at the 23-yard line. Rod Martin on the coverage. You saw Steve Watson, 81, go in motion. That's good news for the Broncos. Watson injured in the first half, back seeing duty.
Well, Mark Herman has already assumed the posture that Steve DeBerg had when he left, hands on hips, wondering what do I have to do to get a completion. Wilhite just simply dropped the football.
Of course, a good Raider defense, though. Watson from Temple University. He swings out wide to the right, Upchurch to the left, and out of the shotgun, Herman, 3rd down and 7. Here they come. Flag down. Preston has it. Would be a first down. Martin makes the tackle at the 34-yard line, but I think we have a hold against Denver. Yes. That nullifies a 16-yard play. Now Herman's 2 passes have been right on the money.
He's standing back there throwing the ball like a seasoned veteran. He doesn't seem to be at all nervous. Tell you, with the punishment that Steve DeBerg took in the first half, you'd think he'd be a little concerned. That's holding against number 71, Claudie Minor. Herman taking the ball from that shotgun formation. As you mentioned, he just coolly throws the ball out there. Perfect strike. Number 46, Dave Preston. Otis McKinney coming over to take him out of bounds.
Well, the penalty takes it back to the 9-yard line, where Denver looks at 3rd down and about 17. Watson left, Upchurch slotted left. From his end zone, overshoots Upchurch and right into the arms of the deep defenders of the Raiders, but not quite close enough for them to pick up the interception. Burgess Owens closest to it for Los Angeles, and here comes the Denver Bronco kicking team. Prestridge has a lot of field with which to work. He'll be punting from his own end zone. Greg Pruitt stands at the Raider 45.
Well, the Raiders will start out here in the second half, obviously with very good field position. And I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Plunkett come out to start the second half. If they could get some points on the board, then they might bring Mark Wilson in.
End over end, Pruitt at the 45 and down at the Denver 40. 36-yard punt by Prestridge. Almost like a golfer trying to get a little extra on a drive, and overkicked it and didn't get much of a result. 13:43 left, third quarter. Of Pruitt right into the chin of Lytle. That'll jar the cavities. And Lytle in pain, but apparently okay now. Marcus Allen greeted rudely to open this second half as Larry Evans, number 56, invading the Raider backfield along with Barney Chavis. In fact, that's an interesting combination, Chavis and Evans, because Larry Evans named his son Chavis after his teammate Barney. Lytle still in agony. Loss, Marcus Allen of 3, second and 13. Plunkett going deep. Steve Wilson with a shot at the interception as he had good coverage on Cliff Branch.
Well, Plunkett saw that matchup, that man-on-man matchup with Cliff Branch and the young guy Steve Wilson out there, and I'd take that too. The problem is Branch is looking back into the sunlight. When you're going down on that side and looking back west, you look right into that sun. And I've played here in the Coliseum many a times, and you look back and you see something that looks like a BB coming at you.
You need those glasses the outfielders use in baseball, a little flip. Third down, 13. He stopped shy of the first down at the 36-yard line. Tom Jackson made the tackle along with Roger Jackson, not related. So Plunkett unable to move the club on the first possession here in the third quarter, and Ray Guy comes in to punt. Now, Bill Walsh told me something that was most insightful a couple of weeks ago when we had a chance to interview him for NFL 82, and he said the real mark of coaching, the profession, is how your team responds to you when you know you're going to lose. That you know you're going to lose a game. Do they still hold their poise? Do they still play with intensity? Do they do the best they can? Or do they start to drift back? And that's the test that Dan Reeves and the Broncos are going through in this game and probably next week as well. Wilhite at the 10. Guy will try to hit it out of bounds. Beautiful spiral. And he gets it out of bounds inside the 10, I believe. Yes, at the 6-yard line.
But just to pick up on what you were saying about the way you play, when you're losing, as we take a look at this kick by Ray Guy, we mentioned before he's having problems with his back, but he does an excellent job here of getting the ball out on about the 5-yard line.
A 27-0 deficit. Mark Herman begins from his 6-yard line. So he's had to start from the 15 and the 6, and a reverse in the end zone. 87, Jim Wright, the tight end, tackled by Rod Martin, and the Raiders not fooled a bit. And that's when you would least expect that kind of play, but the Raiders were there.
Well, I certainly wasn't expecting a reverse. As you said, Wright takes his ball back in his own end zone, but number 53, Rod Martin, with a little help from Burgess Owens, 44, they come in and stop him.
And Wright from TCU, the tight end, slow getting up. And just what you're talking about, that it does come like an epidemic. Wright is getting a chance to start today. Riley Odoms, the veteran from Houston, being replaced by his own 2-yard line. Second down and 14. 27-0. The Raiders lead Denver. tight end out to the 18-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Let's check the scores for you. Other late action. And the Bears score. The fans here cheer as loudly as they do if the Raiders had scored. Straight ahead out to the 23-yard line goes Gerald Wildheit. Other scores. Line record 6-2. Wide open is Paris. And Matt Millen, despite all that bulk, did a great job of getting back and making the tackle as Paris had a shot at a touchdown out at the 48-yard line, 23-yard play.
Well, Denver taking a page out of the Raiders playbook as they get their running back, Rick Paris, isolated on a linebacker. In this case is Matt Millen. That's a good catch that Paris makes. He adjusts to the football very well, coming back to the inside.
Completing the scoreboard, the 49ers a winner at Kansas City 26-13, and the Cardinals in the final minute beating the Giants 24-21. Dallas now has moved ahead of the Eagles 17-14 in the third quarter. From the 46, Gerald Wildheit buys a couple, and that's all as Howie Long makes the tackle, number 75 for the Raiders. From Los Angeles, we switch now to New York. Mark Herman. Incomplete through the fingertips of Egloff, the tight end from Wisconsin. Herman, while he was at Purdue, threw for nearly 10,000 yards, an NCAA record, completed 59% of his passes, 67 touchdowns.
Well, Dick, it appears as though Jim Wright is okay. He's back in the ball game. He's running a little gingerly on that ankle, probably just a slight sprain in his ankle.
Third down and 8 out of the shotgun. Herman in his first ever NFL regular season game. Starting to pay his dues. Howie Long, Lyle Alzado, Reuben Vaughn called a meeting in the Denver backfield. And down goes Herman, sacked. And the Broncos give up the ball.
Herman feels the pressure. He's going to come up, and he thinks he's clear now. But the problem is that Howie Long and the other linemen are playing games. That means that they're starting upfield in one direction, and then they're looping. That's the thing that you learn. That's what experience is all about, right?
Well, Herman couldn't find an open man. Prestridge hits a honey. Pruitt back all the way to his 10-yard line. 15, 20, 35-yard line before Egloff can bounce him out of bounds. 25-yard return after a 50-yard punt by Prestridge. Timeout, 7:57 left, third quarter. It's all Raiders 2 and 5. They're out of the playoffs. First down at the 35 for Jim Plunkett. Off play action to Allen. Overthrows it. Incomplete. Cliff Branch was short. And then he had another man, Barnwell, deep. Jackson in between. Couldn't get his hands on it for Denver.
Denver had gone into their zone defense. Their linebackers had gotten downfield. Branch come into the middle, hooked, decided to come back to the football. Well, that's one of those cases where it just didn't work out. He came back too far. Jim had already thrown the ball, and it sailed over his head. So look at the Raider offensive brain trust there on the sideline.
How much, I want to ask you a tough question. How much does Al Davis coach this team? Marcus Allen. I don't know whether that was a little stutter step fake or whether he thought he'd gone out of bounds, but he had stayed inbounds and goes all the way to the 44-yard line. Allen's 5th catch of the game, and he's near 100 yards in receiving and has 2 touchdowns, 91 yards.
That little stutter step that you saw, what it did was that he caused the defensive back to freeze a little bit, and then he lowered his shoulder and just ran over him. The guy's such a gifted athlete, just a great runner.
Right in front of Dan Reeves, the tackle was made, and whether you're coaching against Allen or with him, you know he's something special. He's going to throw the ball this time. Look at that pass! Touchdown! Cliff Branch, and you can't throw the ball better than that. Marcus Allen right on the money. He completed one 47 yards against Atlanta earlier in the year.
Well, Cliff Branch does a nice job of just getting to the middle, wide open. This ball hits it. Look at that. Oh! He catches the ball. Now he looks for the end zone. Doesn't pull it in. What a beautiful pass by Marcus Allen. There's Don Latimer down on the field. He's hurt. But I guess that shouldn't be any surprise because Marcus was a quarterback in high school down in San Diego. Takes the ball, looks up. Look at this pass. Beautiful spiral right into the hands of Cliff Branch. Ball looks to the end zone. Oop, don't have it. Bobble. Oh.
Well, listen, we're going to send our crack NFL 82 team out on a week's research to try to find out if there's something that Marcus Allen doesn't do well. And we'll have that for you exclusively here on NBC. The guy can't be that perfect. Joining Pollard. And who is the third? Kenny King to the 35-yard line. That'll be shy by a yard of a first down. Jim Ryan and Randy Gradisher made the tackle.
With all the fantastic things that Marcus Allen has done since he joined this Raider team, oftentimes you don't hear the name of Kenny King mentioned, but he still does an excellent job of running the ball. He has really good speed, and when he sees an opening, he can accelerate with the best of them.
Greg Hawthorne is the third Baylor back. I was trying to remember the Abercrombie, Pollard, and Hawthorne, the three running backs for the Steelers from Baylor. 3rd and 1. Allen going to throw wide open. Oh. Forget about it, NFL 82. We got the evidence. Marcus Allen just misfired a man wide open. Derek Ramsey. So he isn't perfect after all.
I was about to say, you only do this once in a game. You never come back with it because they're not going to be fooled. Here, Derek Ramsey is absolutely wide open. No one within 10 yards of him. And Allen just overthrows it.
They'll probably look at the films and say that Ramsey stopped his route short, and there was a good pass after all. Now the crowd comes alive. They're helping Tom Flores on 4th and 1 to go for it. And give it to Allen. He's got it. $27-0. The Raiders with the ball in the lead in Los Angeles. Let's go to NFL 82. Jets are as good as any club going into the playoffs. First down, Plunkett. Malcolm Bardwell ducked. The ball was there, and he saw something coming at him, and he ducked.
You remember those BBs I told you?
That was one of them. Look at this.
I think this is the first time that I've seen a player actually duck. Look.
You're not going to get me with that thing. That was coming right between the eyes. So Plunkett, now that was the sun, and Gene Washington alluded to that. Looking back in that direction, you're looking into the sun, and Bardwell heard something coming and wasn't going to be hit by it. I've never seen that before. 2nd and 10. Incomplete, intended for Todd Christensen, and Jim Ryan had his eyes on his first interception of the year.
Well, Plunkett wants to get the ball to Marcus Allen on the left side of the field. He's got him one-on-one against. But he comes back to the middle, throws the ball. But number 50, Jim Ryan, gets over and almost intercepts the ball. See if we can catch Marcus out on the flat. Out in the left flat, he's got a one-on-one situation. Oh, there's Ryan coming across there, almost picking that ball off.
Dennis Smith, number 49, a former teammate of Marcus Allen with the University of Southern California, the safety man for the Broncos, helped off. Smith, a great athlete at USC on the track team, high jumped over 7 feet. And both wide receivers to the left, and now Branch in motion. And Plunkett has to eat it. Barney Chavis, 79, with Rulon Jones, 75, right behind him. And Plunkett sacked for the second time. And on comes Ray Guy and the punting team.
The nose tackle, Reuben Carter, number 68, getting in on the action.
Gerald Wilhite will be at the other end. His Guy will try to aim this one out of bounds, undoubtedly. Shadows growing, cutting this Coliseum turf, half in sunshine and half in shadow. Wilhite at the 20. And Burrows out to about the 25-yard line. And Guy, look, he's holding that back that's bothering him and certainly didn't kick that one well. 20 yards for Guy. Timeout in Los Angeles. Header, Fiesta, Rose, and Orange Bowl. So we invite you to be along. Mark Herman to the sidelines, and Rick Upchurch has a first down at the Denver 39-yard line. Lester Hayes made the tackle. Other scores, Jets now with that fake on the field goal leading 28-7 in the fourth quarter at Minnesota. Cowboys another field goal and have a 6-point lead against the Eagles at home in the fourth. San Diego 37-13, apparently on their way to another half-century scoring game. Third quarter down south. 27-19, the Bears leading the Rams in Anaheim. Here it's 27-0 Raiders. Inside handoff and a fumble as Alzado, I guess not. You heard the players themselves yell fumble as Alzado made quite a hit on Gerald Wilhite, the #1 draft pick of the Broncos. He hadn't been able to use his end zone back flip today. In fact, he's only used it twice this year. Now, assuming things go as they are now, the Raiders would be 7-1. San Diego 6-2. Cincinnati has already won. The Jets are winning. Miami plays tomorrow night. We'll pursue this after this play. 2nd and 8. Herman almost intercepted. He threw it right in the teeth of the defense, and Mike Davis thought he had a sure interception. Back to the standings. If we may, we go back to those standings. Now, I want to remind folks that when we get in the playoffs, the first place team in the first round will play the 8th place team in the 2 conference races. So if we go to the rest of the teams, the Raiders, should they stay where they are, then would play either, if with the season finished today, would play either New England and Cleveland. One of those 2 teams would be the 8th team in the playoff. And then 2 plays 7, third place team plays 6, and so on. But still some interesting battles to get in the playoffs. Herman, wide open, is Upchurch. Tripped up. Otis McKinney stops him, but not until Upchurch had a first down at the Raider 47-yard line. One of the few times this afternoon that the Broncos have set up shop in the Oakland half of the Los Angeles half of the field.
Well, Herman shows that he has a very strong arm. He had lots of pressure that time from the outside linebacker, 53 Rod Martin, and he threw that pass standing flat-footed. Threw an excellent ball out to Upchurch. Let's take a look from the end zone. You'll see he's back here. He's going to get some pressure. He just throws it. Look at that. That's all arm. Beautiful pass.
Nice catch.
Very good catch.
Upchurch's 4th reception. He has 65 yards. And it's a first down, Denver, at the Raider 47. .351 left in the third quarter. It's been a long game. Lots of passes, incomplete passes. Sammy Winder in trouble. And he loses 3 yards, and a flag is down. Maybe a penalty against the Raiders for hitting a little too viciously. Rod Martin, 53, made the tackle.
Could be one of those incidental face masks.
Yes. Red Cashin indicating just that. Good rule, though. You can well appreciate that penalty. It's certainly stopped what is a very dangerous act, and it's often just an accidental. I mean, you're grabbing for something, you get that face mask, and a severe spinal injury could be the result. So the Raiders, with only 65 yards and penalties, they've got to go to work there if they're going to maintain that #1 spot in the NFL. They're way ahead. And those of you who weren't with us earlier, they're by far the most penalized team in the NFL, and yet they've lost only 1 game. So the correlation between, you would think too many penalties would mean a losing team. Not necessarily so. Although Miami with the fewest penalties, they also are outstanding. Pump fake.
Could be intercepted.
It is. Lester Hayes at the 23-yard line. Hayes, second this year, the 30th in 6 years in the NFL.
Well, Mark Herman is guilty in this situation of a rookie mistake. Let's take a look at Steve Watson. The fake hitch pass, Herman pumped, but Lester Hayes didn't bite at all. He's not even in the picture. He's waiting there. Comes down with the interception.
Almost knew as if that was the play
Watch
call.
the fake. Fake. Then he throws the ball, but he doesn't look to see where the defensive back is. Lester Hayes didn't bite on that fake at all. Shouldn't have thrown the ball, but that's the way you learn. You have to get in the heat, learn that way.
So Hayes, the brilliant cornerback out of Texas A&M, now has 30 interceptions, just 6 years. Marcus Allen knocked down in the backfield, a yard loss. Rulon Jones from Utah State made the tackle. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Been no scoring here in the second half. The Raiders leading 27-0. Scored 3 points in the first quarter, 24 in the second. Oh! Greg Boyd from San Diego State, number 77, hits Marcus Allen as soon as Allen took the handoff. Back at the 19-yard line, a loss again.
Well, they're really playing the run because the Raiders at this point would like to keep the ball on the ground, try to run off some time on the clock. And Denver is just really teeing off against that run. They're coming in through some of the gaps. They're going to force the Raiders to put the ball in the air.
Branch to the right. Christensen slotted right. Barnwell and Muhammad are to the left. On 3rd and 14, Plunkett. Incomplete. Calvin Muhammad never had complete control. He thought he did. And now we got another little fisticuffs going on. Last week, the Raiders and Rams, one of the local writers described it, there was more action than the last heavyweight fight. And they've been at it again today. Boyd goes off the field.
Jim Plunkett isn't the swiftest quarterback, but he has really good mobility, and he likes to throw the ball on the run, and he does a good job. This is a beautiful pass. There. Should have had the ball. That should have been a reception. Can't throw it much better than that.
Oh, no penalty flag, and from the 19, 4th down and long, and Guy will kick. Wilhite stands at his 35-yard line. 2:04 left in the third quarter. Good kick. Wilhite at the 31. Nothing but black jerseys. Wilhite leans so much on the run that he does that a lot. He's done it twice today. He falls down without even being hit. Hawkins there to cover him. A 50-yard punt, 6-yard return. Let's take a look at how we're going to do. Herman dumps it off to Paris. And he's to the 44-yard line in Raider territory and a first down. Don Latimer, shoulder apparently injured, and he will not return, nor will Dennis Smith, the safety man for the Broncos. While we have a moment, talk about the Raider defense. Ted Hendricks. Show you the durability of this great All-Pro, number 83. This is his 198th consecutive game. The roar of the crowd in the background. Eagles 21, Cowboys 20. They've just put up on the scoreboard. Wilhite. Now there is a case in point. You wonder why he wouldn't stay on his feet. Maybe he breaks a tackle. Instead, without being hit, he just dives forward. And he's to the 34-yard line, close to a first down.
Some players are content to get what they have. Other players, like a Marcus Allen, want to get more than what you give them. And in this case, he did get tripped up a little by number 36, Mike Davis. But, you know, some guys are just not willing to go down. They're looking for that little extra thing. They'll put a hand down, stay up, gain another yard or two.
Second and short. Herman. Nice pass. And Sammy Winder makes a good catch and a first down. The Broncos have their deepest penetration. They're inside the 15.
Well, Hendricks is on the line of scrimmage. He's faking the blitz. The running back is coming out in his area. He's trying to get back there. He has his back turned. He just doesn't see the football thrown. Good catch, part of Sammy Winder.
But even then, Hendricks, when he finally made the tackle, he was going right for the ball, always trying to wrest it away. And he had his mitts on it. And that is the end of the third quarter here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. The Broncos with their best field position of the day, but they trail on the board 27-0. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Here, who wants to be with us? Mark Herman has moved his team to a first down at the 13 of the Raiders, and this is Paris to the 5-yard line, and a flag is down. And that might be holding. They threw it right in the middle of the line. Yes, it is, against Denver.
Well, that would be consistent with the way Denver's performed practically all season long. They get something going right, then the problems happen. Usually it's a turnover. In this situation, they get a good run from Rick Paris, but it's going to be nullified by a holding penalty.
Holding during the run. Number 64 on the offense. Still first down.
Bill Bryan, the center, guilty of the hold. So now Herman looks at first down and 20 from the 23-yard line. And Denver working on the penalty yard advantage. And that's about the only statistic that they own today. 27-0 Raiders. The young backs Winder and Paris behind Herman in his first ever NFL regular season duty. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end Egloff and broken up nicely by Mike Davis from Colorado. It's 27-0 here in Los Angeles. Now let's check on NFL 82. They come up with a victory in that one, and apparently they will. We'll move to 6-2, joining Cincinnati, already a winner at 6-2. And San Diego is winning. Great protection, but no one was open, and he has to eat it back at the 40-yard line. Archie Reese and Matt Millen teamed up on the sack. 5 today for the Raiders, who now have 33 for the year.
Well, Mark is taking the ball from that shotgun position, looking downfield, but the Raiders do an excellent job. They're in man-to-man coverage, no place to throw the ball, and there's number 74, Archie Reese, on the sack.
Assuming the Lions didn't get any sacks today at Tampa Bay, that moves the Raiders into first place in the NFL in rushing the passer. Looks like a defense that, if you can't pass the ball, you're going to be in real trouble against this Raider club. Herman to Watson at the 16, make it the 14-yard line. Burgess Owens, the defender for the Raiders. And that'll bring up fourth down. They're going to go for a field goal. They want to get something up there.
Well, Herman really threads the needle in this play, gets it in between the linebackers. You can see Matt Millen jumping up, trying to knock it away. And Watson gets right in that area between the linebackers and the defensive backs for the reception.
An apparent field goal on fourth down and 11. But when you're trailing 27-0, we'll see. Paris is perfect this year, 10 for 10. It would be a 32-yard attempt. And it's good. Watch out, Mark Mosley. Rich Carlos is also perfect, 11 for 11. And for the Denver, Rich Carlos, as we welcome you back to our NBC coverage from the Coliseum. Rich Carlos to kick it off after hitting on a 31-yard field goal. It's 27-3. The Raiders have the lead. Pruitt, and he'll take the touchback. Now that is not a fumble, but a muff. The impetus being given by the kicking team, even though Pruitt first touched it in the field of play at the 2 when it rolled back into the end zone. He never had control. It is a touchback. Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA. Marcus Allen out to the 20-yard line. A yard gain, perhaps. Steve Busick, second-year linebacker, another former Southern California star, and Steve Wilson made the tackle. The Eagles have moved up by 4 points against Dallas in the fourth quarter. And how sweet it would be for Dick Vermeil's team in a disappointing year to knock off the highly regarded Cowboys. Meanwhile, the Jets apparently have their 6th win of the year set, 35-14 at Minnesota. On 2nd and 9. Plunkett. Incomplete. And for Cliff Branch, or Barnwell with a drop this time. The Broncos were yelling that Plunkett was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. There's Carlos from the University of Cincinnati, a man who was one of more than 400 who tried out. Various players got into one of those open the doors, everyone try out last spring, and won the job as the kicker with the Broncos. That's quite a story, and now he's hit on 11 in a row in his first year.
How does he kick barefooted in cold weather like that? In hot weather, how do you kick barefoot?
That seems to be chic. It's the trend. It's in to kick without shoes. Third and 9. Plunkett. Pruitt. Oh. No flag. Number 51, Bob Swenson, made contact. Although he did it blindly, he didn't see the ball coming. He hit Pruitt legally just as the ball arrived. Boyd put good pressure on Plunkett.
Well, Plunkett does a good job of avoiding Boyd. You can see at the bottom of your screen, Greg Pruitt is just running away from the defender, but Plunkett was throwing the ball, coming to his left, couldn't get very much on it. Pruitt comes back for the ball, hits him right in the chest. That's a tough catch to make when you're sort of falling down and coming back. Had he been able to do it, it would have been an outstanding catch.
Greg Pruitt, who had 65 catches last year with the Cleveland Browns, best among the AFC running backs. Guy to kick. Almost blocked. Wilhite at the 41. And he's down at the 49-yard line. Otis McKinney made the tackle, so the Broncos good field position. 12 minutes and 15 seconds left, fourth quarter. Raiders lead here in Los Angeles, 27-3. December 26th postcard from California. If it's going back where it's cold, say it's really not that nice, folks. For the people who live in California, that too many folks out here already. 70 degrees today. Mark Herman. Intended for Steve Watson, and James Davis was the closest man to the ball. Well, our buddy Mike Hafner is watching up in Denver, a former Bronco, and of course a key member of our NBC broadcast team. He was supposed to, I think his assignment was down in Houston. I think he had the Cleveland-Houston game, and because of all the snow up there, couldn't make it. Of course, we had to scramble to find somebody of the quality of Mike, and I know he'll be pleased to know that the local announcer there in Houston that they hired did a brilliant job.
I'm sure you'd be pleased to know that.
And Mike, I don't know, they said if it's really a lot of snow up there, forget about next week. Ron Egloff, and he was hit by Mike Davis. Yeah, we're only teasing. Mark Herman in his second year in the NFL and finally getting a chance to play, and he's at least gotten his team 3 points. And this is what it's about, and apparently it'll start a lot of thought process in the Denver camp as to whether or not Herman indeed will be the quarterback of the future. Will it be deferred? Once you start comparing, that's good fodder for the writers and the broadcasters.
But with their system, they need to decide on a quarterback right away and let him go, because it's a very involved offensive system, the same one they've used at Denver. I'm sorry, down in Dallas.
Herman just getting that ball away as Howie Long was in so tightly on the quarterback that Herman had to look at the front of his jersey to see if a 75 is stuck on it. Long Yeah, one of the story we told it early in the season. We'll repeat it again. Howie Long, when he was at, of course, played his college football at Villanova. When he joined the Raiders, he was telling all his teammates, you know, when I left Villanova, they retired my number. And of course, everyone thought, gee, that's nice. He was a good player. He didn't tell them that the reason it was retired was Villanova gave up football. They retired all the numbers. We understand, though, that that school is considering rejoining the collegiate football forces. Greg Pruitt, the veteran, back at the 7-yard line. Prestridge to kick from his 40. Pruitt down at the 4-yard line. Swallowed by that non-rushing special teams led by Rob Lytle, a veteran from Michigan. 47 yards on the kick. The Raiders will start from their 4 when we come back. From the 4-yard line, the Raiders with the ball and a 27-3 lead. 11:48 remaining of the game. It's one of the longest games of the year. Kenny King to the 11-yard line. Tackled by Aaron Kyle. All the scores. Cleveland a winner over Houston. King again has a first down. The Voyagers program will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NEC's football coverage over most of these stations. First down at the 15 for the Raiders. We'll get the rest of the scores for you. Fumble, and the Broncos have it at the 29-yard line as Todd Christensen popped by Aaron Kyle, and Kyle has the football.
Well, if you're a Denver fan, something finally goes right for your team. Plunkett gets the ball down the middle to Christensen. He goes up high for the catch, but he gets popped just after he comes down. And I think that's Gradishire who hits him, forcing the fumble.
Steve Busick was in on the hit as well, and Kyle recovered it. So Denver with the ball at the Raider 29-yard line with 10 minutes and 22 seconds left. Going to be intercepted. Lester Hayes couldn't catch it, and he couldn't kick it. We have seen some strange happenings in the second half. Couldn't catch it.
Let's see if he...
He's 0 for 2.
That's what happens when you have too much time to think about it. The ball just won't ever come down. You just, come on down, come on down. Finally does, and you try to grab it and squeeze it to death.
Well, those easy ones, those are the ones you want to put in the record book. So the Broncos, fortunate, still have the ball, 2nd and 10.
Here comes a blitz.
Herman smothered by the charge of Long and Martin and Reese. 6 sacks for the Raiders, who apparently will lead the entire NFL in that department at this day's end. Well, we'll run down the rest of the scores for you. 24th Texas Stadium. 3rd down and a long, long way to go. Intercepted. Burgess Owens at the 35, 40, 50, and down at the 48. Rick Upchurch made the tackle, and the Raiders have another turnover. Raiders with a lot of yardage on interception returns. Millen went 60 with one. Davis went 52 or 55 with another, and 34 yards now for Owens.
There's a man that the Raiders stole from the Jets. #1 draft choice for the Jets. They got him for number 6. What a job he's done since he's been here with this Raider football team.
And Ferragamo with a shot at it. Meanwhile, it's Plunkett to King. And King run out of bounds at the 46-yard line by Steve Wilson.
I'm a little surprised that Plunkett is still in the game at this point.
It'd be a chance for Mark Wilson to get some game duty if something should happen to Plunkett. Wilson's only played briefly this year. He's 1 for 2 passing.
Well, the Raiders continue to go with their frontline players, with the exception of Marcus Allen here in the fourth quarter.
Yes, number 38, Chester Willis from Auburn, has replaced Allen at running back. Gives you an idea of the priority in the Raiders system. They got that rookie out of there. Here's Willis. Not much there. Rob Swenson, who had troubles in negotiating his contract, didn't sign until after the strike, after an all-pro year last year. Comparing Plunkett first half and second half, well, the Raiders have been guilty of that a bit this year, of getting a big lead early and kind of resting on it. Almost let one slip away against Seattle, as you pointed out, Gene Washington.
Of course, that game here against San Diego
was just the reverse.
They came back in the second half.
Well, part of that is not the quarterback. I mean, the coaches are saying, hey, don't take any chances. And if you're in any doubt, eat the ball or throw it away. Steve Wilson. And that was a time where he threw it away, and there was no one there. Plunkett feeling the pressure. And Wilson has the interception.
Well, I think Jim really was trying to throw the ball away. He just didn't see Steve Wilson out there. He goes back, doesn't find anything, and he's going to move around, try to find some room. Throws the ball out in the flat, doesn't think anyone's there, but up pops number 45, Steve Wilson, for the interception. Plunkett has been very unhappy with himself. He leads all quarterbacks in the NFL in interceptions coming into the game. He had thrown 14 and has a couple more today. He said, I just can't do that. Yeah, you can see. He's angry at himself. Not all his fault. He was under a lot of heat from the Bronco rush. Rick Harris on the draw, fighting for every inch, and down to the 36-yard line before Ted Hendricks can wrap him up. That's a good call in this situation. Run a draw play, because if you're throwing the ball and those linebackers are getting those deep drops, there's not much room down there. And if you can run that draw play and run it effectively, then those linebackers just can't fly out of there when the ball snaps. They'll have to hold in there a little longer. Both wide receivers to the right with Upchurch slotted. Incomplete. Matt Millen got a hand on it. It was intended for Ron Egloff. Nelson was there also in the coverage. Peered at Millen in front. Tipped the ball away. Like catching a foul tip. That's not easy to do. That ball hit Egloff right in the face mask after Matt Millen got a little piece of it. It's a tough situation for receivers. I've been in a few of these games where you're behind and you're throwing the ball almost on every down. Those defensive backs are just sitting back there sort of licking their chops, waiting for you to get in that perfect situation so they can just tee off on you. It's tough. Third down and 6. And flags go down. Procedure against Denver. And of course, new quarterback, new cadence, just the voice different. I remember when I was in high school and quarterback, I used to practice in my room just trying to sound tough. Until my voice changed, I knew I'd never be a quarterback. Tom Glassick, number 62. Dave Studdard, 70, the guards. Brian, the center, with Miner and Lanier, the tackles. We're going to talk about Glassick, the most interesting man from the University of Virginia. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 10. Fumble. They might call that a pass. They don't. It looked as if Herman was trying to throw an underhanded pass to someone, but they're going to rule that a fumble, I believe. Howie Long again. Boy, they're just not blocking Long out of there. See if this is a pass attempt. Well, he gets a lot of pressure in a hurry. There's 75, Howie Long coming right from the middle. And it's tough to tell from that angle. You couldn't see any forward action. Boy, Long is just
He's been murderous in his assault of the quarterback.
Well, you can see he's coming inside. Let's see if we can. No, I don't think he was. I don't think. You think he was trying to shovel the ball out?
I think he was, but
would have been illegal.
Right all day. It would have been legal. You can do that.
The only people around were the linemen, I think.
So Prestridge to Pruitt at the 15. He's got some blockers. One man stopped that from being a touchdown. Rulon Jones. And Pruitt out of bounds after a fine return. 38-yard kick, 21 yards in the return. Ineligible man downfield against Denver. Undoubtedly will be declined by the Raiders. Interceptions, 150 yards in yardage by the Raiders. It's pretty good offense generated by 4 steals. Lester Hayes going to be kicked out of the core. He came up with a 0. 6:42 left. There's Lester Hayes. He's got a lot of superstitions. Hayes, he likes to touch an all-pro teammate before the game. He likes to wear kangaroo shoes on the grass. He says the skin takes on the characteristic. It gets him to jump better.
And they don't make those kangaroo shoes. Well, I used to wear those shoes. They're very light and they're very difficult to find. So he somehow or other he comes up with them.
Chester Willis met by Lewis Wright. Now there's a pro Lewis Wright in a 27-3 game. He's showing that he belongs in this Bronco team. He came up and met Willis as hard as a cornerback will.
Well, a player of his caliber is not going to let down at any time. There's an awful lot of pride. Take a look at number 79, Barney Chavis pursuing, and there's 20. The man that makes a stop, Louis Wright. Outstanding defensive back.
2nd and 10. Willis to the 40-yard line. Boy, I tell you, the sounds of the game are fantastic. There's the roar in the background, the biggest cheer of the second half. The scoreboard has just spelled out the Eagles have beaten the Cowboys 24-20. So Philadelphia, big upset as Tom Landry's Cowboys lose at home. And they look so invincible these last several weeks. Well, that's a restructuring for Philadelphia. Some of those who thought that Vermeil had lost his touch and his club had quit. Big win. 3rd and 5. Flag down as Christensen gets to the 47 of Denver. And we'll check the penalty.
Cliff Branch is claiming that he was held by one of the Denver defensive backs.
Here we got another little scuffle as Branch was choosing up someone.
Cliff's a little small to be
but he runs fast.
Get him and run, right?
It was holding against the Broncos, declined by the Raiders, and it's a first down for Los Angeles at the Denver 47-yard line with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left. And there aren't going to be too many folks left. They ought to give some kind of reward to the fans who stayed to the final gun today, because there aren't going to be too many of them. Willis to the 42-yard line, a gain of 5 before Jim Ryan and Rulon Jones can make the tackle. Well, the nice thing about the fact that there's not a lot of crowd interference with the sound, you can hear the sounds of the game.
You really can. Chester Willis really picking up the intensity here. Coming on this sweep, the pursuit just sort of passes him by, and he cuts back to the inside and picks up a nice gain before number 50, Jim Ryan, outside linebacker, makes a stop.
On their way home. Coliseum. Branch hit immediately by Aaron Kyle. And we'll see where they mark it. I believe far enough for a first down at the 36-yard line.
Well, Branch had Aaron Kyle out there in a one-on-one situation, going just far enough for the first down because he knows that Kyle is going to give him an awful lot of room.
I almost can hear Plunkett call the signals in the huddle. Not quite that good, but certainly at the line of scrimmage, you get a feeling of the action. Here it is. Flags fly, a penalty, I believe, against the Raiders. Oh, it's terrific audio. You just got the feeling you're right down in the middle of all that contact. In fact, Gene Washington just wincing every time somebody gets hit. Larry Coyle, our director, said he likes that. He's going to even give you even more of a feeling of that. You know how hard we worked in that no announcer game to get the sound that we didn't get then? Now we get it here. Maybe they're trying to tell us something. At the 46, the penalty holding against number 79, Bruce Davis, the left tackle. Incomplete, intended for Greg Pruitt. It'll be 2nd down and 20. Plunkett is now 15 for 32, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So the Redskins continue their role in the Washington, and will apparently get that. Going for it. Oh, beautiful defensive play by Louis Wright. You won't see a cornerback regain his position any better than that. He was beaten, used his speed and athletic talent to break up the play.
And he breaks up the play without drawing an interference call. Look at this. Goes up, knocks the ball away. Look at that. Beautiful. An exceptional athlete.
Piece of ballet. Wright, who was a 25-7 long jumper at San Jose State, ran the 440 and around 47 flat. Oh, beautiful camera coverage there as well. Calvin Muhammad thought he had a touchdown. 3rd and 20.
Roger, 50, 26, 27, 0, put it.
Barnwell out of bounds at the 26-yard line, very close to a 1st down. 27-3 the score with 3:21 left. Gypsy Boots, I knew he wouldn't leave. Gypsy, he's going to stay to the final gun. Got his Christmas red pants on. Hey, he's ready. Got his nuts and berries in the bag. They say this is the land of the fruit and nuts, Southern California. 4th down and 1. First down for Willis, but a fumble. And the Broncos say they have it. Let's wait for the officials. Boy, there's a real arm wrestling job going on underneath that pile. Denver has it with 3:08 left. So by Steve Allen. Harris to the 35, close to a 1st down. Nelson and Millen with a tackle. Well, this last minute before the 2-minute mark, let's just let the sound tell the story. 2-minute warning.
Rick Upchurch makes a good catch. He does a great job of holding on to the ball as he really takes a shot from number 26, Van McElroy.
And happy holidays to all of you around the country from NBC as well. Denver with 4 more first downs than the Raiders, and yet trail 27-3. The Broncos have the ball at the Raider 30-yard line. Joe Ralston is our audio engineer. What a job, Joe. That'll be to Watson, and a first down at the Raider 19. Marcus Allen, his day done.
Cliff Branch, Derek Ramsey, Barnwell over there. That's a nice feeling to sit down on the bench like that when you know you have the game all won. Except I did that once against Dallas, I think. Sat down on the bench, thought we had the game won about a minute and a half to go.
Roger Staubach had other ideas. Watson broken up by Lester Hayes. It's still 27-3 here. Now to NFL 82 in New York. There are more people in your NFL 82 studios than there are in the Coliseum right now. 27-3. The Raiders had a big second quarter. It really hasn't been a very exciting second half. We're ready to go. I mean, we got it all packed. Even the equipment man isn't here. Commitment to excellence. They're all wrapped up. Boy, they got everything in there. Here's the highlight of the second half. The coordinating producer of football on NBC is Ted Nathanson, certainly to their credit, and offensively and defensively. Herman, flag down. Watson is in the end zone, and I believe the penalty is against the Raiders, and that one will count. Touchdown Denver with 1:10 left.
Well, Herman gets the ball out to number 81, Steve Watson, and Jeff Barnes interferes on the play, number 56. There he is. He's trailing Watson. He had an illegal chuck. That's when you hit the receiver. Once he gets beyond 5 yards, you can't chuck him. Jeff Barnes was guilty of it. Didn't really matter because Watson caught the ball and went up for 6 points.
And Watson, an outstanding play to catch the ball, his second touchdown, and Mark Herman's first touchdown throw in the NFL. Rich Carlos try for point. Right down the middle, and that is a cosmetic 7, and the score now reads 27-10. Mark Herman of Purdue has a touchdown in the NFL. Now let's throw it to New York. Glenn, wish you were here in Los Angeles, the Coliseum, where it's now 27-10. The onside kick by Carlos, and the Broncos may have gotten it. They did. So Denver recovers the onside kick out at the 47-yard line. But back to the fact that San Diego and Dan Fouts, here it is again. Let's first appreciate this successful onside kick.
Ball's going to bounce up. Oops, short hop. I think that's Todd Christensen over there. Well, it's like a third baseman. He didn't quite play that hop right.
Roger Jackson made the cover. Cleveland a winner. They're 4-4. They play Pittsburgh. It's out of it, but win at Kansas City. Gerald Wilhite to the Raider 36-yard line with 57 seconds left, and Herman calls time. That gives us a chance to run right back to NFL 82 in New York. And a most difficult job for all those guys back at NFL 82 keeping track of it all. Herman to Preston out of bounds at the 24-yard line. 50 seconds left. I want to also point out with that Fouts 5 touchdowns and the Chargers winning again with all of that offensive machinery that they have, and the Raiders obviously an outstanding defensive team and the best pass rush in the NFL, and that sets it up for a most important game next Sunday, a late game here on NBC. It's our doubleheader week. The Chargers and the Raiders, and the winner of that game then will indeed have the entire home field advantage in the playoffs. So a tremendously important final game of the year, and we'll have it next Sunday on NBC. Herman to Upchurch, intercepted. Monty Jackson, who once led the NFL in interceptions, 1976, when he played on this field as a Los Angeles Ram. Jackson takes it away from Herman with 42 seconds left to match the number on Jackson's back.
I played against Monty Jackson when he was with the Rams, and I thought for a 2 or 3 year period that he was the best defensive back in the league. Hasn't played quite as well the last few years. Comes up with a nice interception here. Now that's the mark of a veteran player. He knows that he has to get those feet in the inside. There he is, does his little dance. That's an interception.
His brother Terry Jackson, member of the New York Giants defense. 6 more turnovers for Denver. They led the NFL coming in. They won't hurt their chances to maintain that spot. And they're now minus 18 in the turnover department. Now the flop down final plays as the Los Angeles Raiders will win this game 27-10. The Broncos call time. You can't blame them. With all that snow in Denver, they don't want to go home. They're going to call more timeouts to stay here as long as they can out of New York.
Good idea, Dick Enberg. Let's check out the Cincinnati Bengals. They clinched the playoff spot today. Kenny Anderson, 44 yards to David Verser. They beat Seattle 24-10. That eliminates the Seahawks. The Bengals are in. And so are the St. Louis Cardinals. A late second victory over the Giants. Neil Lomax, 36 yards to Willard Harrell. He lost it after he was down. And that set up the winning score with 27 seconds remaining. Lomax, plenty of time. The Giants in one of their classic prevent defenses all day. Lomax to Green, touchdown. The Cards clinch a playoff spot 24-21. Back to Los Angeles.
Thank you, Len. We had one play and another timeout by Denver. 33 seconds left. Denver has no timeouts left, so now Plunkett kneels. And with that victory today, Dan Reeves' team will finish today at 2-6. Will conclude the season at Seattle. And Tom Flores, his team is in the playoffs. It has the best record in the AFC, 7-1, and a most important rematch in San Diego against the Chargers, with all the home field in the playoffs at stake going to the winner. And a crowd of about 345 cheer the final gun as the Los Angeles Raiders have beaten the Denver Broncos 27-10. Enjoyed working with you, Gene Washington. We'll see you again soon. And now let's go to New York.
They bring into this game a very